Well, I'm Huguette Hebert, and I am Rudy Chuck's wife. Jack has been at Villa Caritas since March 2011. I've been married to him for 36 years. He was transferred to that hospital right after their official opening. And we had been told that that would be the best place for my husband with his vascular dementia problem, as well as being a stroke patient and a cardiac patient. But right from the beginning, problems occurred. On the second day, he was assaulted, beaten up by 2 patients. Can you imagine how unsafe we felt about being there? At Villa Caritas, there are great nurses and staff that are working really hard, and they are really doing their best. But what we're looking today is to make sure that my husband receives the neurological assessment that he desperately needs. It's urgent. At Villa Caritas, even after 6 months, we felt that it wasn't a good place for him, and we were looking for a transfer. We had sent a letter to the Minister of Health at that time regarding various concerns. So he was transferred from UAV Hospital to Villa Caritas. Anita will share how different the 2 experiences had been only after a short stay at Villa Caritas.
So basically, I was there at the U of A in February, and this is where, when my father got a neurological assessment evaluation, they decided to cut his medication by half. And I mean, we saw him from be bedridden to up and walking 300 meters 3 or 4 times a day. So what they were doing there was working. And as soon as we got to Villa Caritas, well, that went back down. And I was back there in June to visit, and he was in his chair, confined, sedated, and it wasn't pretty.
Now let's talk about disempowerment. Villa Caritas requested many times that I purchase a $5,000 wheelchair for my husband while he was at the hospital. And to me, I really thought that an acute care facility, as Villa Caritas, that is publicly funded, is supposed to provide the basic equipment like a wheelchair, where my husband is sitting in it 12 to 14 hours a day. When I asked why they were not offering that wheelchair or a suitable, comfortable wheelchair for my husband, I always got the same answer. It is because your husband is not of standard size. Well, he is 6'4", just a few inches taller than average. To me, I call this discrimination. And on that matter, they went on and they threatened me to go to the Office of Public Guardian to take my legal power as the decision maker for my husband away from me. There was another situation where they were really disempowering me. During a full year, I was allowed to stay in the room while my husband was having care, while they were changing him. And then a new psychiatrist came in, and suddenly the rules changed. After 3 months of not seeing him being changed, I decided one day that I wanted to stay there. Their way to react to me was sending or ordering a security guard to come and escort me out of the building. He said, "Ma'am, you are banned from this hospital from right now, and please pick up your belongings." It was hard to live. So I was escorted out of the building. Another shocking experience, big bruises. Last August, my husband had major bruises on his chest. And when I say major bruises, I'm talking about having this big of a bruise on his chest and big bruise on his arm and hand. It was swollen, multicolored, not pretty. After asking what happened, I never got an answer. What I received was, well, it might be this, it might be that, it might be the chair, it might be the tray, it might be the lift, it might be the belt. Just might be. So 6 days later, when I saw the physician, I asked him to come and talk to me about the bruise. He came to the room and admitted that he had not seen the bruise on his chest, which was very obvious. So while talking about it, I asked him if it was possible to have X-ray of his chest. And he said, no way. That will be valuable medical dollars spent for nothing. For him, having X-ray of his chest, finding out if he has the cracked rib, had no value. To me, it would have told me why my husband was probably very frustrated and agitated. He had pain. So this was definitely a real issue. But I think that the doctor may have had a little bit of remorse, and I heard the following day that he had ordered X-ray. But that was in August. There hasn't been any follow-up. I'm still waiting to have an explanation of the results of the X-ray. And I'm still waiting to have an explanation of what caused the bruises. Is it what we call poor communication between the families and the medical staff? And the most important part right now, from my perspective, is that he's having neurological incidents. And my husband has been a cardiac patient for decades. Open heart surgery in 1988, then 2 major strokes, many mini strokes, angioplasties, many problems. He is the perfect candidate to have more serious neurological events. I observed some behaviors that were new. And it was also observed by competent staff, nursing staff at the hospital. I looked for understanding of what was happening, and I got supplementary information from people who work in neurology. They all said it looks like definitely neurological problem. My expectation was that the nursing staff would report and brought those incidents to the attention of the physicians. But to my knowledge, nothing has been done by the physicians. There is no action that has been taken showing that they have been dealing with those critical observations. And as I said, my husband has had 2 severe strokes that were always preceded by some neurological incidents. And it is common knowledge that a severe stroke is often preceded by minor neurological incidents. So those minor incidents have happened for the last 2 months. And right now, every time I leave the hospital, I wonder if it is the last time I'll see him alive, that a 3rd severe stroke will be a fatal one. I'm really concerned. We are, the family, very concerned about Jack's condition. This situation needs to be addressed by a neurologist, not by a psychiatrist. Other specialists are needed. Villa Queridas doesn't have that specialty. They don't have neurologists. That's why I've been asking that he be transferred to U of A Hospital so that he could have neurological assessment ASAP before it's too late. Jack has been at U of A Hospital treated previously for his 2 severe strokes. They know him, they have his file. I contacted the minister's office numerous times, and lately an urgent letter has been sent last week requesting his assistance, and so that he could intervene in my husband's case. We are at a point now where we want Jack to be out of this place. We have exhausted all the possible avenues. But you know, my husband doesn't deserve this. No, nor we. No, we as the family deserves this. Nor do the seniors and their families that deserve to be disempowered as we have been. This is not okay. It is not okay. Let's act before it's too late.